How are we doing, VC? Hope everyone's well and keeping safe in these times. Today is my best albums of 2020 video. This is a bit delayed, obviously, but I didn't get a lot of albums until really late in the year, so I didn't want to do my list sort of at the start of January because I barely listened to some of them. So that's why this video's coming so late. This was going to be a top 20 albums of 2020 until I realised I only bought 17 new albums last year. So I'm just going to do a top 10, and then the other 7 I'm just going to do as honourable mentions, not in any kind of order. A couple of CDs to show first. This one wasn't on my radar to pick up, I won't lie. It's Deep Purple's most recent album, Whoosh, which is a bloody awful album title if you ask me. But a good album. Yep, I was in my local supermarket picking up some stuff, and this was in the music section, and I'm in the Deep Purple, so I picked up a good album. Throw My Bones and Drop the Weapon being my favourite tracks. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's not bad at all. Not an outstanding album, but not terrible at the same time. So that's the first one, Deep Purple's Whoosh. Sepultura, Quandra, I think this is called, isn't it? Or Quadra. Yeah, really good. I know a lot of people haven't got time for Sepultura post Max Cavalera. Not the case for me. As far as I'm concerned, this is a band that is still evolving, pushing forward, not making the same album over and over again. Just to clear things up, I've got no problem whatsoever with bands putting the same thing out over and over again. I'm a big fan of AC/DC and Cannibal Corpse, and those two bands just put out the same thing over and over again, and that's all good. But I'm also down with bands trying something a bit different, you know, thinking outside the box, and this is a really good album. Yeah, I really like the last album as well. I think it was called Savage Messiah, or Machine Messiah, actually, I think. But the Seps, yeah, continuing to make great music. Andreas still knows how to play a great riff. Write a good riff as well. Derek Green's vocals, fantastic. And I can't remember his name, but the guy that got on drums who replaced Igor Cavalera is an absolute beast. Saw this lineup at Bloodstock a few years ago, and they're absolutely outstanding. So that's another good one. That's the last of the CDs already. Honourable mention to Benediction for Scriptures. Great album, this. I'm pretty late to the Benediction party, I won't lie. I remember seeing one of their videos on Noisy Mothers, which was the weekly rock and metal program before you had cable TV and all that. They had a song called Down on Whores, I remember, and I remember seeing that and liking it. Never checked them out literally until last year, and I bought a compilation. Well, it was like a package of all their old albums on a CD. Heard about this one coming out and was really pleased to hear about it. Dave Ingram back in the band on vocals. For me, Stormcrow, probably the best song. Rabid Carnality, In Our Hands, The Scars, Embrace the Kill, etc, etc. Really good stuff. Kind of meat and potatoes death metal. There's nothing super technical going on here. Really nice riffs. Musically sounds good. Production's nice. A very good album. That's Benediction Scriptures. Up next, and I still can't believe I'm saying these words, but a bit of country music. I usually hate country music with a passion, but they play these guys on Planet Rock, which is the national rock radio station here in the UK. Play a few of these guys' tracks, and this is great. I absolutely love it. I still can't believe I'm saying the words myself. But this is their Skeletons album, come out last year, obviously. Fantastic stuff, really, really good. Yeah, lighting up all night. All the good ones are brilliant stuff. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that there was some really, really amazing releases last year, this could have even made the top 10. But Brothers Osborne is fantastic. And me liking country music, who would have thought it? Not me, that's for sure. Shown this just recently because it's not picked up not long ago. The newest album from Irish thrashers Gamma Bomb, Sea Savage. These guys always put out great albums. I've never put out a dud. This is a great album. Sea Savage, Miami Super Cops, probably my favourite song. Iron Blood, She's Not My Mother, Todd. Yeah, great stuff. Gamma Bomb, Don't Let You Down. Tongues in Cheeks, not particularly serious, but certainly not a joke band. That's a great album from them. Pick it up if you haven't already. Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons, We're the Bastards. Great release. Not quite as good as the debut as far as I'm concerned, but a great album. Of course, Phil was in Motorhead for 30 years. Joined in about 1984, I think. Was in the band until Lemmy's untimely passing, of course. But We're the Bastards, Son of a Gun, Born to Roam, Animals, Bite My Tongue, Desert Song, etc., etc. It's really good. Yeah, just sort of rock music, really. Rock and roll. Little bit of a sort of a southern twang in parts, sort of a bit of a Skinner style. But mostly just straight up rock and roll. Brilliant stuff. Check it out if you've not heard it. And the last of the honourable mentions is Vader's Solitude and Madness. Was completely unaware that this was out until a couple of months ago. This is only my second Vader album, and this is brilliant. One of the things I like about this is that it's, I think it's about 35 minutes long. And that's sometimes how I like my albums. You know, some albums these days tend to drag their feet and go on forever. Not the case here. I've only just got this. This literally turned up yesterday in the post. Nice gatefold. Amazing cover artwork. Thrash death, really. Vader from the old school, very much death metal. There's quite a lot of thrash in this, but still some death in there as well. Yeah, production is amazing. Sounds fantastic. Great riffs, great vocals. A solid thrash death metal release. Killer stuff. Really enjoying this. They've got quite a big discography, so I'm looking forward to diving deep into their older albums. And that's a killer release right there. Vader's Solitude and Madness. So into the top 10 now. And number 10. Sodom's Genesis 19, I think this is. I think so, yeah. Yeah, a great album. I've been into Sodom quite a few years now. A fantastic band. The only reason this is down at number 10 is, for me, this album starts really, really strong. And it's just a slight dip in the quality in the middle for me. And then it finishes really, really strong as well. It's a great album. Frank Blackfire is back on guitars. Tom Angel Ripper, of course, is here. His vocals are probably sounding the best I've ever sounded. He just has not lost any of his voice at all. He sounds absolutely amazing. Stuff for doing like Sodom and Gomorrah. The title track, Glock and Roll. Indoctrination, and the last track, Friendly Fire. Awesome stuff. Thrash metal with touches of death metal in there. There's some blast beats here, which you don't usually get with Sodom albums. Got a new drummer and a new guitar player. Fantastic release. That's coming in at number 10. The latest album from the German Thrashers. A really, really good album. Solid release. Number 9, some old school British grindcore. Napalm Death, and I can't remember the title. Throes of Joy in the Jaws of Defeatism. I love this. Brilliant stuff. Yeah, there's exactly what you expect here. Some proper grindcore. There's also a couple of tracks in here that have got a very much industrial feel to them. So sort of like Godflesh, that type of thing. And one of the tracks has got a proper Killing Joke vibe going on. Once again, Napalm, not a band to put out the same thing over and over again. They started out as a grindcore band, and in the early 90s, they went full-on death metal. They even went over to Morristown in Florida to record Harmony Corruption. And then went back to more of the sort of grindcore stuff again. Just a brutal release. I mean, no one sounds as pissed off as Barney Greenway does. He's just got such a fantastic voice, and he just always sounds so angry. Killer stuff on here. Fuck the Factoid. Backlash Just Because. Contagion. Title track. Acting in Gouged Faith, and a belly full of soul and spleen right at the end. It's just a brilliant song. There's no heavy guitars in it at all. It's just the drums, bass, some sort of effects going on. Really powerful stuff. An absolutely outstanding album. This again was something I didn't even know was coming out until I got the notification of the day it was released. So I went straight onto Amazon and ordered it immediately. Brilliant stuff from Napalm Death. Another band Don't Let You Down. Number 8, a band from my childhood, AC/DC, and their latest release, Power Up. Brilliant stuff. There is talk this might be the last AC/DC album. As far as I'm concerned, if they can still put out an album of this quality, then by all means, boys, carry on. Brilliant stuff. I won't lie, when things went pear-shaped for Brian's hearing on the last tour, and Cliff Williams left, and then Phil Rudd was out, even I was starting to think to myself, you know, Angus, maybe it's time to hang it up. But with Cliff Williams back on the bass, Phil Rudd back behind the drum kit, and Brian Johnson back behind the mic, it looks and sounds like AC/DC. You know, with AC/DC with me, it's a case of, you know what you're going to get, and that's absolutely fine as far as I'm concerned. This is a killer album. So happy to finally grab this. Realise first track's great. Shot in the Dark single's fantastic. Kick You When You're Down, Witch's Spell, Demon Fire, System Down, Money Shot, Code Red. There's not a bad song on this. Just a great band. I just love this band so much. I've been loving this band since I was about 10 years old. And they've never put out a really, really bad album. A couple of slightly dodgy ones in the mid-80s. Fly on the Wall springs to mind. But a fantastic release. Glad to finally have it. Glad that all the old boys are back in the band and still delivering the goods. What, 45 years after they first sort of materialised? Excellent stuff. Up next is Heathens, Empire of the Blind. Yeah, great album. Lee Altus from Exodus, of course, is in this band. A solid release. Won't lie, doesn't blow me away quite as much as I hoped it was going to, but it's still good. Great riffs. You could do with thrashing a bit more in some places. There's the gatefold. But a stellar collection of songs, great vocals, production's really good. The Blight, Empire of the Blind, Dead and Gone, Blood to Be Let, Devour, Fine Red Mist, etc, etc. It's really good. I'm pretty late to the Heathen party, but I'm glad I got there in the end. And this is an album that certainly didn't disappoint. Like I say, could do with thrashing a little bit more. It doesn't blow me away quite as much as I wanted it to, but I still really, really enjoy it. Some new school thrash now. Havoc, I say new school, they've probably been around about 10 years now. This is their album, I think it's 5, or it might be the letter V, I'm presuming it's 5. This is a fantastic album. I love these guys. Got about 4 of their albums and none of them are duds. Excellent thrash metal from the United States. I'm not going to bother reading any tracks because for some reason they've decided to use that kind of writing on this background, and when you've got eyesight as crap as mine, can't read it very clearly, but an outstanding thrash metal album. If you're into your old school thrash, you haven't checked out any of the newer bands, because like I said, he's been around about 10 years. Definitely a band worth checking out. Havoc, another killer album from them, and that's why it's in the top 10. Skeletal Remains and the Entombment of Chaos. Yeah, killer stuff this is. If you're not familiar with these guys, death metal. To be honest, this could have been released in the early 90s. They're definitely doing it the old school death metal way. The vibe I get from this album is a bit similar to Morbid Angel's Covenant album. and probably some old school Pestilence from the early 90s. It's brilliant, great riffs, drumming's fantastic, good songs, catchy riffs. Just brilliant death metal. If you're into death metal and you've not checked these guys out yet, you've got to grab this. An amazing album. Nice gatefold for the lyrics in. I love this. You know, you can't go wrong with this kind of old school sounding death metal. And this is a fantastic release. Glad I picked it up, and it's going to be getting some more spins this week. What number am I at now? Number 4. From Scotland, Hellripper, The Affair of the Poisons. Great. This was championed a lot by people here in the VC in the UK. And rightfully so. It's really, really good. Musically, it's full-on thrash metal. Some of the riffs in this are absolutely outstanding. But vocally, he sounds like Abath, former Immortal frontman, or any black metal frontman, to be honest. It's just killer. Not a bad song on it. Brutal riffage, pounding drums, soaring vocals. Absolutely amazing stuff. This is the first album, I think, so there's going to be plenty more to come, and I can't wait to hear it. This guy, I can't remember his name, it's James, I think. Absolutely fantastic. Brilliant, brilliant album. And I can't wait to hear more from this guy. This album did not disappoint in the slightest. Brilliant stuff. Number 3 is the last band I saw live before the whole bloody COVID thing kicked off. Testaments, Titans of Creation. I saw these on the Bay Area Strikes Back tour with Exodus and Death Angel. And I think this came out about a month before, maybe a month after. I can't quite remember now. But a stunning album. For me, from all the old school thrash metal bands from back in the day, I think Testament are putting out the best albums from those old school bands. They're the most consistent, I think. They've only ever put out one sort of dodgy album, that was Demonic in 1997, but this is killer. There's a gatefold with all the lyrics and photos. Brilliant stuff. Do you know what? This was nearly number 1, but it's number 3. And that's only because for me, it's a couple of songs could do with being cut from it. If you cut a couple of the songs towards the end, it'd be a perfect album. But Children of the Next Level, World War III, Dream Deceiver, Night of the Witch, Symptoms, False Prophet, The Healers, etc, etc, etc. Brilliant stuff. The lineup that these guys have got together at the moment is absolutely top drawer. You know, Chuck Billy, Eric Peterson, Alex Skolnick's back quite a while now, obviously. And 2 former Death members in there, so how can you go wrong? Steve DiGiorgio on bass, Gene Hoggan on drums. The guy's an absolute powerhouse behind the kit. An amazing release. Everyone's been showing this, and rightfully so. It deserves to be right up the top. Killer stuff. Testaments, Tons of Creation. That's in at number 3. We're still thrashing at number 2. This was the first album I picked up last year. Annihilator's Ballistic, Sadistic. I absolutely love this band. Jeff is actually... I think he actually lives in the UK now, up in the north of England. So he's based here now. Obviously they're from Canada originally. But an absolutely stunning album. There's not a bad song on it. There's the gatefold. Jeff does get a lot of recognition, but I think he is still a little bit underrated as far as guitar players go. He's just amazing. There's a vinyl. Once again, the riffs on this are absolutely fantastic. All the songs are great. This is the second album he's put out with this same lineup, and I think he needs to stick with this lineup. And I think his vocals are definitely better now as well. I was really gutted when Dave Padden left because I love his vocals. Jeff took over. I know he did some vocals on the albums in the 90s, but I think his voice is sounding the best it's ever sounded on here. Not a bad song on this. It's absolutely outstanding. Armed to the Teeth, The Attitude, Psycho Ward, Out with the Garbage, Dressed Up for Evil, One Wrong Move, The End of the Lie, Lip Service. They're all brilliant songs. Just absolutely outstanding. My number 2 album of the year. If you haven't got this, you need to grab it. But there's one more album that's just better than this. And that's coming up next, obviously. Now, this album is absolutely amazing. It's from a thrash metal band here in the UK. I think they're from Bristol. I saw them a couple of years ago at Bloodstock. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. This album's an absolute beast. Number one is Onslaught's Generation Antichrist. When Cy Keeler left a couple of years ago, or about a year ago I think it was actually, I was really gutted. It's turned out not to matter. What's the new singer's name? Is it Dave? David Garnett, yeah. He has slotted straight in as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, gutted Cy's gone, but more than happy that this guy's on board now because he just sounds amazing. Fits right in. There's a gatefold with lyrics. An outstanding release. I mean, for quite a while of the year, Annihilate I was thinking was going to be my album of the year. And then when it's dropped around about September, had to change my mind. It's absolutely perfect. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. Brilliant guitar riffs. Drumming's fantastic. Great vocals. Excellent songs. There's just killer stuff on here. Strike fast, strike hard. The title track's fantastic. Addicted to the Smell of Death. Religious Suicide. A Perfect Day to Die. Everything on this is amazing. If for some reason you haven't got this, you need to go out and grab it. It's an absolute thrash-to-piece, as they're called now. Killer stuff from here in the UK. Absolutely amazing album. Album of the year. And that takes some doing because there were some absolutely brilliant releases last year. Brilliant stuff. If you haven't got it, obviously you need to grab it. So that's it, guys. That's my top 10 albums of 2020. Thanks for sticking around and watching towards the end. And I want to say thank you as well to everyone who has subscribed because now I've reached or gone over the 100 subscribers mark. I can't thank you all enough. It's very, very much appreciated. So before I go, as always, please, if you like the videos, subscribe to the channel. Like the videos, leave a comment, let me know what you think of my list. Do you like these albums, or what was your favourite album last year? Please get in touch and let me know. It's very much appreciated, as always. Guys, take care of yourselves, and I'll catch up with you next time. I'll see you then. Bye.